I'm loving it. Hello. Hello, gang. How's it going? Tell me if you can hear me. That would be good. I think we're on. Okay, cool. So we're doing a live Q&A. It is the 2nd of April. I hope you all got your April Fools in yesterday. And if anyone wants to ask some questions, then please feel free and message in the chat box. All right, cool. So everyone can hear me. So I guess we can begin. All right, cool. So first question, why are nightshade vegetables not allowed on the program? The short answer would probably be that they're too yin. And, you know, I say this over and over again. It's, you know, yin and yang are basically just ways of talking about balance. And unfortunately today, people are really yin. So they're more yin balanced. And nightshade vegetables tend to be more on the yin side. So we kind of try to stay away from that because we want to make people more yang initially, in the beginning of the program especially. Other things is that they contain various toxins and alkaloids, which are not very good for the system. There's some nicotine in nightshades. A lot of people are actually sensitive to nightshades. I had a partner who was very sensitive to them. So basically we stay away from them because we just don't want anything to be interfering with our full potential, basically. So, yep, that's the simple answer, really. Obviously, if you want to have a look at more information, it's always a good idea just to type in on Google drlwilson.com and then like nightshades, and 9 times out of 10, you'll find an article on that. All right, cool. Next question. How can I describe EMF sensitivity to doubters? The problem with EMF sensitivity and EMFs in general is that obviously because it's so widely used and people just live in this world whereby they think that people have just got their best interests at heart, companies actually care about their health, the government cares about their health, they just can't get it into their head that EMFs are a problem. Now, the best way that I kind of put it across to people is that, you know, it's quite well known that if you use the mobile phone a lot, you can get brain cancer. Now, to me, that is a sign that there's radiation there that is harmful. You know, it's just logical. So when you say to people, when people say, well, you know, EMFs or Wi-Fi isn't harmful, well, I just say to people, well, then, well, why is it common knowledge that if you use a mobile phone a lot, you can suffer from brain cancer or tumors or something like that? Another thing I say to people is that France have actually banned Wi-Fi and radio frequencies in kindergarten schools, like kiddie schools. And to me, that is saying if a country is willing to ban these things, then obviously there's suspicion in that. Another argument is legally Apple are not allowed to call their laptops, their MacBooks laptops, because the radiation that gets kicked out of them is so intense that you know, legally they're not allowed to do that. Also, another thing that I say to people is something like, if you read the small print of many phone manufacturers, it says that you should be holding the phone like 1 or 2 inches away from the skull. Again, because of the frequency problems. So although a lot of people will argue that EMFs aren't a problem. It's pretty plain. It's pretty easy to see that the world is kind of saying that they're harmful for you. Now, once you kind of get that across to people, then usually they're more open to listening to the fact that it's a problem. And then you can go on to like the symptoms and stuff. Rashes on the skin, insomnia, anxiety, heart palpitations, all this kind of stuff. And usually they tend to be a little bit more receptive to stuff like that, I found in general. So I hope that's answered your question. All right, have you ever completely gotten rid of visual snow? I have it, and have actually seen a great reduction in it on my second month of the diet and lifestyle changes. That's good news, obviously. Hopefully I've kind of made it clear in a lot of my videos that visual snow is a difficult thing to kind of deal with. I'm quite quick to say, yeah, this can be healed pretty quickly. This can be healed pretty quickly on the program, but I am quite as hesitant talking about visual snow because it is super, super difficult. And I've got to admit my visual snow hasn't completely gone because I do get it at night a little bit. However, if I'm very, very diligent with the program, which I am 95% of the time, it is unnoticeable. And I just actually did a video recently, a few days back, called A Message to Visual Snow Sufferers, which talked about basically how visual snow, although they think it's the biggest problem, it's not usually. Usually the brain is so toxic that it is making people feel that visual snow is a problem, when in reality the brain is actually not processing vision too well. So if you fix the brain, and you fix your adrenal glands, and you fix your liver toxicity and all this stuff that can affect the way that we process information and our eyesight, etc., then you'll find that visual snow actually isn't that much of a problem. What people don't realize with visual snow is that, I mentioned it in the video I did a few days back, is that 95% of people that come to me who say they've got visual snow have a plethora of other health problems, and they don't realize that that's actually causing much of their detachment from reality, not the visual snow. Okay, is there anything I can do until I can afford the program? Yes, there's a free program. We have an ebook in the description, which you can download for free. So just check the description. I'm not sure if the description comes up on live. Yeah, the description does come up on live. So click the ebook, or if you want a more thorough free program, if you type in Dr. L. Wilson on Google, free program should be on there. If you can't find it, basically click on any article, go down to the footer, and there's a link in the footer on drlwilson.com. It says the free program. So yes, you can do that. Next question, do the floss. The guy that does that dance move is like pretty yin. I'm pretty sure I'm not as camp as that guy. Although I do love a good dance, and I'm wearing a flowery top, so I can understand why you've probably asked me to do that. I can't do it, although I've tried doing it. But yeah, maybe next time. But thanks for the question anyway. It's more of a statement. Okay, next question. When it comes to adrenal problems, why is it that some say gluten is overall bad, but some others say that only wheat is bad? Don't really understand that question. Basically, just stay away from wheat and gluten. If people are just saying only wheat is bad compared to what, only wheat is bad. Like there's loads of things that are bad. Gluten is not good as well. So yeah, I don't really understand that question, but regardless, stay away from gluten and wheat. It's bad. Cool. Do the supplements have to be taken, or is the diet alone able to heal someone? I would say that supplements are a bigger part of the program than people think. Like, it's been a big part of my healing. I personally think that people need supplements to heal fully. If the person can't afford supplements, then I would say just follow the program. You will still get some healing, definitely, 100%. But if you want to really, go deep, definitely try and get the supplements. All right, cool. Pro tip: name one product that you use that everyone in the program should get. Depends really, because they're obviously products part of the nutrition balancing program, and there's products not part of the nutrition balancing program. But I try and follow the nutrition balancing program stuff as much as possible. So if you haven't already got a pressure cooker, get one, because they are a godsend. So I'd probably say pressure cooker as part of the nutrition balancing program. And I would say if you're looking for something outside the nutrition balancing program that I recommend, probably a Memon device, which is an EMF device. The science behind it is pretty out there. It's based on scalar technology, but I believe it works. I've got a lot of people that use it, and it really helps with the EMF frequencies in the household. If you type in Memon, MEMON, EMF on YouTube, you should be able to find it on there. I have one in my house, and I had healing reactions when I first started to use it. It was pretty intense. Really good. Keep asking questions, by the way. I don't think many people have asked many questions. Maybe I should, in the future, tell people up front, or tell people to maybe ask questions a couple of days in advance. All right, cool. Do you need to supplement vitamin D and fish oil if you eat 3 to 4 cans of sardines per week? We say that if you can eat 3 to 5 cans of sardines per week, I would say try and eat 4 or 5. Then you can skip vitamin D and fish oil. However, having a little bit of vitamin D and fish oil extra now and again is fine. We're really low in that kind of stuff, so it's not going to hurt you. So yeah, it's if you're not having 3 to 5 cans, 4 to 5 cans, definitely you should be having vitamin D and the fish oil as a substitute. But yeah, I prefer sardines personally. Are there any books you recommend? Anything related to Dr. Wilson realm? God, there's loads of books out there really that are really interesting. A really good book that I like is Life After Life by Raymond Moody. I've been talking about that book today actually to some friends. It talks about life after death experiences, which I find really interesting. That's a good book. I'm currently reading a book at the moment because I'm quite into the whole idea of not returning to nature, but kind of using some of nature's wisdom to kind of help heal us. So having kind of a deep personal relationship with nature, learning kind of bird language and just connecting basically with kind of connecting with nature, connecting with God. So there's a new book out called A New Path by a guy called Arthur Haynes, which I'm reading at the moment. That's super interesting. Also, anyone that's got some emotional stuff and they want to know more about kind of the soul's natural development in nature, there's another cool book called Nature and the Human Soul by Bill Plotkin. That's good. The Book of Urantia, if you want to get really deep into kind of the universe and angelic realms. Some information on the life of Jesus. It's a really cool book. It's big, but it's cool. It's called the Book of Urantia. If you haven't already got Dr. Wilson's book on nutritional balancing, then I would definitely recommend getting that as well. That's a great book. That should be much more read throughout the world, in my opinion. think it's amazing. Keep asking questions, guys. My local police post on Twitter, they're accepting Bitcoin now for parking fees as April Fool's joke. What's ironic about that is in 5-10 years' time, they probably will actually genuinely be accepting Bitcoin for parking fines. So, you know, the April Fool's on them, really. But we'll see what happens. Remind me about that. I want you to mention this to me in 5 years, whether I'm right or not. All right. Why does calcium food cause a burning sensation across back? EMF sensitive. Not really heard it before, but I do know that a lot of people that have got EMF sensitivity have calcium shell. So basically, the calcium in their cells is quite high, and it causes the cells to kind of harden, and this causes EMF sensitivity increases. So I would assume that if you're possibly having calcium foods, that could be increasing your calcium even more and causing the EMFs to increase. And in your case, it seems to be just focused on the back area for whatever reason. The body is strange. You know, sometimes you can't figure out the reasons why. But that's a hypothesis. I'm not sure who you are. I'm not sure if you're one of my clients. So I'm not sure whether you have a calcium shell or not. But yeah. Can the nutritional balancing program fully restore tooth enamel? What do you recommend for taking care of tooth decay? There has been a little bit of talk on whether, you know, on people restoring tooth enamel on the program, but you're talking years, you know, years and years and years. You know, I think it's one of the last things the body will try and fix. So, you know, probably going to be difficult on any healing program. In all honesty, if there's anyone out there that's telling them that, you know, do this program, it's going to restore tooth enamel, then in my opinion, it's difficult to stomach. One of the reasons, as I say, is it's not a survival thing. You know, it's one of the reasons why women stop having the periods, you know, when they're ill, is because, you know, producing babies isn't part of surviving. So the body will kind of stop that in order to use as much energy to kind of keep itself alive. So restoring tooth enamel is probably down the list in terms of what the body wants to fix before it gets onto tooth enamel. I would, you know, following the nutritional balancing program is obviously going to keep things at bay. I'm not a biological dentist, but I would go and try and find a good quality biological dentist and try and see what they say about it. Dr. Wilson's got an article on biological dentistry, so you're probably best off looking at that article, really. But, you know, shining the infrared heat lamps on the teeth would probably be a wise idea. But yeah, you need to kind of do the program to kind of stop the decay and maybe go and speak to a biological dentist, see what they say about doing some natural methods to just take care of that. What do you think of Dr. Joel Wallach? Never heard of him, so can't answer that one, I'm afraid. You get a lot of people saying, you know, what do you think of this person? What do you think of that person? Like, I feel like I know a lot about various different things and various different people, but it's just impossible to know about everyone, really. So maybe you can send me some information and I'll check him out. Cool name. Cool. I haven't heard anyone describe having the physical reactions I'm having. How can I know for certain what I need to be treating? First off, probably if you will tell me what physical reactions you've got, I've probably heard about them. it's very rare that I come across anyone that tells me something I haven't heard about it before. The method that we use in nutritional balancing is basically the same method that you would use, the same hypothesis, the same kind of methodology you would use to maybe kind of fix a plant. So in order to fix a plant, you don't fix the plant, you fix the environment, and the plant fixes itself because you've given it what it needs. And it's the same for the body, really. You need to realize that humans are quite arrogant, and sometimes it's just best to be humble and just to be like, look, I don't really know how the human body works. We've done a good job. We're pretty intelligent as species go, but we know absolutely nothing compared to the grand scheme of things. And this is the whole idea about submitting your life over to God and all that kind of stuff, because it's coming to an understanding that you don't actually know that much. We do know a lot, but we don't know that much. So what I'm trying to say is the body's wisdom, or the universe's wisdom, or God's wisdom, is way, way, way more advanced than ours. And basically, if you give the body what it needs, what it's designed to eat, how it's designed to live, the emotional structure that it was designed to experience, then the body will kind of fix itself. So sometimes if you're having weird physical reactions, if you're doing the program, then the chances are you're giving the body what it needs to fix them problems. So it's something not to get too worried about, because even if, you come to me, for example, and you had all these weird physical reactions that I would have probably heard before, I would probably not change anything on the program. The program would stay the same. We're still having to fix the environment. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. Hey, Lewis, what can I do when my pain is so severe I feel like I need ER, but I know they send me home with Valium and psychosis? I think when you're answering questions, guys, tell me a little bit more information. I don't know where this pain's coming from. I think you mentioned something about you had EMF, so I'm assuming that your pain is related to EMF. If it is related to EMF, then, I would say, are you using a bed canopy? Try and, maybe if you use a bed canopy and you get away from the EMF, that the pain would temporarily stop. But again, it's if you're asking questions, guys, give me a little bit more information, because I'm not sure where this pain's coming from. So it's difficult for me to kind of answer stuff like that, if you understand what I mean. All right, cool. When pushing down, is it okay to... Oh, hi, Rachel. How's it going? When pushing down, is it okay to visualize the energy turning to the right in a circle at the feet, kind of like a tornado turning down to bring the energy downward? Yeah, I think that's a good one. I think that's probably quite powerful, to be honest, in a spiral motion. Energy works in spirals, as I'm sure you're aware, the DNA strand, light frequencies, it all has this kind of downwards spiral spinning direction. So doing something like that would be super powerful, I would imagine. I've never done it myself. Maybe I have, imagining a ribbon going round and round and round and down. I think I've done the pushing down exercise so much now that it's just super natural. So I just kind of push as hard as I can. But yeah, I would think that would be pretty cool. What advice do you have for some people who feel stuck and can't seem to move out of the same pattern for a long time? Is it better to surrender to that pattern, or try to change your mindset? First of all, I think it's important to really, really speak to the person about what they're doing exactly. Because some people will say to me that they're doing certain things, and then you realize that they're not. And, it's difficult sometimes because they say, oh, I can't get out of 4 lows, I can't get out of 3 lows. But then you find out that they're running around town all day. You might be doing the program, but if you're running around doing this, and this, it's difficult to get out of the program. I understand it is tricky because you are not in that person's shoes, so you just don't know how they're dealing with it. I've been in patterns for a long time in the past, and after a while, I just kind of don't worry about it because you're moving forwards anyway. You're learning, you're experiencing. I think sometimes you can kind of get hung up on patterns like, oh, I'm in 4 laws again, or I'm in 3 laws. When there's various kind of degrees of how you feel. You might be in 4 laws for 2 years, but I would assume that you've probably been feeling better over the 2 years. If you're doing the nutritional balancing program and you don't feel better after 2 years, then I would question what you're doing. But if you feel better and you're still in 4 laws, then don't get hung up on the patterns too much. I've been in 4 laws recently, for a while, to be fair. I spoke to Dr. Wilson about it, and we both agreed that it's something to do with my Saturn return, and it's something to do with my relationship to my parents. Thus, I have loads of books hanging around about codependency and attachment issues, just because my mom acted a certain way. I need to forgive her for that, and I need to learn about my codependency stuff that has come up in relationships. I know that's to do with parental stuff, and it's really interesting that Dr. Wilson says, when you get to around 27, 28, 29, you'll go through something called the return, and it's usually to do with parental stuff, and usually you're in 4 laws for a while, and that's happened to me. So yeah, you can get hung up on it. In the beginning, I was like, oh man, I'm in 4 laws, and after a while, kind of like it. I kind of like, in a weird way, I kind of like being in 4 laws. It kind of just relaxes you, and you rest, and you think about traumas and all that kind of stuff. So why not put a positive spin on it, especially if you're feeling better after a while. So yeah, I would say surrender, change your mindset, think positive. If you're feeling better, which I would assume that you are in some ways, even if you've just learned something about yourself, that's a step forward. Yeah, that's what I'd recommend. Cool. Thanks for the questions, guys, by the way. It's good. I love answering your questions. Cool. I've had several friends and family that have had calcium shells that started but quit the program. Is this typical? Any advice on persuading the high calcium shellers to resume the program? From my experience, it doesn't matter what pattern you're in. Calcium shell, 4 laws, 3 laws. It's difficult to get people to carry on with the program. Trying to work out ways of doing it. I found one of the biggest problems is that people just assume to feel better really quick. That's one big problem, and they don't, so they quit. Another big problem is they kind of assume that the practitioner is going to be like totally there every step of the way, and just can't do it. It's impossible to be kind of carrying a client, and they just assume that that's what you do. And yeah, maybe I could do that, but I'd need to get paid a lot more. I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's you can't do that. And one of the ways that I'm trying to deal with that problem is that with my clients, I will tend to answer their questions on YouTube just so they can see my face, so they can see my tone of voice. I can answer questions much more in depth, and it feels like that there's a bit of a relationship going off there. And I'll do that no extra cost. So, that's one of the issues. But I would say it doesn't matter really what pattern you're in. It's some people are just not cut out for the program. I feel like you've got to be fairly spiritually orientated to actually understand it and agree with it. Some people get it, some people don't get it. So yeah, I would just try to, if you give them the information and they don't resonate with it, then don't waste your energy trying to convert people, because there are people out there that would love your energy and advice, and there's only so many hours in the day. So just, you can't help everyone. It's impossible. And if you do, you'll probably end up burning yourself out. So that's not good. Why do medical professionals deny EMF pain? Check out my video, The Truth About the Medical Industry. That'll probably give you more information on my take. At the end of the day, if you get born into a world where medicine and hospitals are the way to heal, you've got no other reference point, and you think university is the way to go, and you live your life 20, 30, 40 years living this indoctrinated path, and it's difficult to snap out of that, and you're surrounded by colleagues that all think the same, and when you come to them with something different, they don't want to hear it. But check out my video on The Truth About the Medical Industry. That'll give you a little bit more information on what I think and how people think, and why we've been kind of tricked into thinking that medicine is the way to go, and all that kind of stuff. So some people like Dr. Wilson and me and other people have kind of snapped out of that. For me, it's just common sense. Like, I read a lot of articles, read a lot of videos, and it's like, yeah, just common sense, just logical. Just like, why would anyone not question this stuff? So yeah, hope that helps. Hey Lewis, keep up the good work, brother. Will do, brother. I will try the Memon. Thanks for the book. I have one too, a bit more philosophical. The End of All Evil by Jeremy Locke. Let me write that down. I'll send it to myself. That's what I usually do when I get information. Send an email to myself. It's a good way of doing it. 2 minutes, guys. I'm just going to send this book to myself while it's on my mind. Cool, that's done. Someone's just said hello. Hello to you back. I'm from Holland. I'm from England. How's it going? All right, another question. Do you feel some people that don't improve with NB could be mold toxic? I feel this isn't covered enough in NB, especially as, in my opinion, mold causes devastating derealization and depersonalization. There's many, 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 many reasons why people don't improve, and a lot of the time people think they're not improving, but you look at the hair analysis and they are actually improving on a deep level that it's just not surfaced yet. Mold could be a problem. Definitely would tell everyone to try and fix mold problems if it's there. There's been times in my healing journey where EMFs stopped me from moving forward. Not drinking enough water stopped me from moving forward. Not sleeping at decent times stopped me from moving forward. Being around certain friends, being around certain environments, being in relationships. There's so many different things, and it's super difficult sometimes for me to kind of figure out the reasons why, people don't improve. Like, I know from experience, like, it is pretty hard. The nutritional balancing program is hard, and you've got to be very dedicated and very determined. And a lot of people will tell me, "Oh, I'm not improving," and that I'll see pictures of their food on Facebook or Instagram, and I think to myself, well, I mean, I wouldn't improve if I was eating that. Do you know what I mean? So it's individual. You need to just talk to the person on an individual level and see what's going off. Really, the frequencies I hear in my ear currently are off the charts. I'm probably detoxing, but I also have a feeling I'm getting signals. What's your experience with frequencies possibly being some sort of signal from other realm? I'm not sure what you mean by frequencies. I'm pretty sure you're not talking about tinnitus. Maybe you are talking about tinnitus. If you are talking about tinnitus, obviously it's nothing to do with spiritual realms. If you are one of the very rare people that can hear other realms. You probably won't be hearing any high frequencies, I wouldn't imagine. I've never heard that before. I would probably say that you might be detoxing metals from your ear and it's stuck somewhere in the cochlea and it's causing you to hear high frequencies. But yeah, if you want, yeah, if any of you guys would like a private Skype session or a private video, like send me an email, because obviously like some of these questions kind of you just need to get deeper. You need to spend a half an hour like talking about all the different things that could be causing this kind of stuff. So yeah, but yeah, it sounds to me like you've got some tinnitus, high tinnitus. The more I read the question. Someone's ear ringing is an ascension symptom. Fair enough. If that's could be not. I don't know. I mean, I get ear ringing. I don't put it down to ascension symptoms. I usually get it when I'm detoxing metals. It's like a high frequency tinnitus. So that's just my experience with that. May I ask, can you experience dizziness when your heart is damaged, but it's not visible on regular tests? I've been tortured with electronic weapons. I'm pretty sure, yeah, you can experience dizziness. I'm not sure what you mean when your heart is damaged. But if you're getting tortured by electronic weapons, which I have heard before, and I've met people that have been tortured by electronic weapons, then obviously you'll be feeling dizziness. If you're getting heart problems, chances are you've got other issues as well that are going to be causing dizziness and vertigo. So yeah, I would say that you're probably correct. Isn't mental health affected by EMFs? Can we see a possible correlation to illness and violence? So mental health is affected by EMF, of course it is. It gets into the brain. The brain's a chemical organ. The brain is made up of a lot of water. The brain is full of toxic metals that act as antennas. So definitely can affect your mental health. Can we see a possible correlation to illness and violence? Yes. Dr. Wilson talks about metal personalities. So a lot of people, for example, that are in prison tend to have iron toxicity or manganese toxicity or mercury toxicity, and all these can correlate to violence and anger. Copper toxicity usually gives people like hidden anger and stuff. So definitely illness can be kind of connected to violence without a doubt. How long have we got going for? 45 minutes. Cool. So nearly finished the questions. So if you're still watching, I would probably get your question in pretty quick because we're nearly at the end. Is sleep paralysis common symptom? I've had some real doozies since beginning the program. Almost feels like I'm being attacked by dark entities. Yeah, I think it's a common symptom. I've had it quite a few times. Usually when I'm detoxing something from the kidneys, usually when I'm taking like Renamide and stuff. I think it is probably related to dark entities at times. But again, it's a good sign. It means that the aura is starting to heal itself. It's starting to fill the holes, and these entities are removing themselves from the body. So yeah, I've had quite a few kind of sleep paralysis symptoms and issues. Quite interesting, but scary at the same time, of course. Super scary. Wouldn't recognize what EMF does to our bodies cause a threat to the technology industry. I read technology is a higher paid industry, even to pharma. Yeah, of course it will. It's one of the reasons why it's one of the reasons why, EMFs are out there, because the tech industry are probably paying millions and millions to get this information. Like, under wraps, because if this got out there to the world on a big scale, which it probably won't do anytime soon, then it's a huge threat. It's a massive threat. It's a safety threat as well in many ways, because we rely on technology now. So if everyone kind of suddenly wakes up one day and realizes that technology and the frequencies that come out of technology are bad, then we would have like some serious problems on our hands, because the earth basically spins on technology and the internet and Wi-Fi, so it's a big issue. That's the reason why you need to be starting a nutrition balancing program and like healing the body so it doesn't feel any of this stuff, because yeah, because this is not going to stop anytime soon. No chance. A lot of question: could depression and sense of hopelessness come from my EMF reaction? It sure can. Simple answer. Why did this happen to me? Sometimes in life we get put in certain situations in order to heal them, and by healing them we learn a lot about ourselves, and we're able to kind of help the world as well. So I know it's difficult. I'll just quickly say, there's no more questions. So if you do want to ask a question, ask it now, because I will be wrapping things up pretty soon. But yeah, I used to ask all the time, like, why am I suffering from these problems? Why did I get this? Why me? Victim thinking, and it's easy to get into, obviously. But like, this has been the biggest experience of my entire life, and if it wasn't for me getting ill and overcoming all of my health issues, I would just not appreciate life really as much as what I do now, and I wouldn't strive for excellence, and I wouldn't want to help anyone, or I wouldn't want to fix the earth, or I wouldn't understand how important, little things like recycling and just like not using non-toxic products and looking after the brain and looking after relationships and friendships and spiritual development and talking about God and all this sort of stuff. Like, I would never have come across any of this. So it really is a blessing in disguise. And I know that when you're in the moment and you're listening to someone like me saying this, you're just thinking, shut up, because I feel absolutely terrible. And yes, I felt terrible for many years. But looking back on it now, if it wasn't for that, then I would definitely not be the person I am today, with this knowledge and this experience to help people. All right, so that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching. I do answer questions for free. I do this live stuff for free. But, if you do want to send in a donation, that would be cool. You can send it to www.paypal.me/Lewis Rowlands. Have you tried the Aura Trance? Not yet. I will try it soon with a friend, actually. I live in England. So yeah, I'm done. All right, guys. So thanks for watching, and please follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Deep Healing Space, so you can keep up to date with the next one. If you would like to start a nutritional balancing program, then please send me an email, lewis@deephealingspace.com. If you go to our website, www.deephealingspace, and then click /newsletter, then you'll be able to sign up to our newsletter, and I'll send out an email before I go live for you to be informed when I'm on next. All right, cool. So thanks for watching, and please subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll speak to you all soon. Ciao.